Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Tanvi Taneja and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds virtual bilateral summit with his Denmark counterpart, Mette Frederiksen, says collaboration among like-minded countries in vaccine development will help in fighting COVID pandemic. Defence Acquisition Council approves proposals for capital acquisition of equipment worth 2,290 crore rupees. Government initiates probe into alleged dumping of pharma raw material from China. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 82.58%. And in IPL cricket, match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians underway in Dubai. In our special series on the occasion of 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In a post-prayer speech, Mahatma Gandhi had talked about Charkha and had said that it is a symbol of non-violence.
हिंदुस्तान ने मान लिया कि चरखा है वो तो अहिंसा का प्रतीक है, उसकी निशानी है। आज वो निशानी तो गुम हो गई। अगर वो निशानी रहती तो आज हमारे सामने जो चीज बन रही है वो तो नहीं बनने वाली थी।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Denmark counterpart Mette Frederiksen held a virtual bilateral summit this evening. In his opening remarks during the summit, Prime Minister Modi said the virtual summit will not only prove to be useful for India-Denmark relations, but will also help in creating a common approach towards global challenges. He said a few months ago, both sides had discussed in detail about increasing Indo-Denmark cooperation on several fronts, and today, through this virtual summit, these ideas are being given a new direction and speed. Mr. Modi said the events of the past several months have made it clear how important it is for like-minded countries to work together. He said collaboration among like-minded countries in vaccine development will help in dealing with the corona pandemic. Prime Minister Modi said during the pandemic, India's pharma production capability has been useful to the entire world.
पिछले कई महीनों की घटनाओं ने यह स्पष्ट कर दिया है कि हमारे जैसे लाइक माइंडेड देशों का जो एक रूल्स बेस्ड ट्रांसपेरेंट ह्यूमैनिटेरियन और डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यू सिस्टम शेयर करते हैं, साथ मिलकर काम करना कितना आवश्यक है। वैक्सीन डेवलपमेंट में भी लाइक माइंडेड कंट्रीज के बीच कोलैबोरेशन से इस पैंडेमिक से निपटने में मदद मिलेगी। इस महामारी के दौरान भारत की फार्मा उत्पादन क्षमताएं पूरे विश्व के लिए उपयोगी रही है। हम यही प्रयास वैक्सीन के क्षेत्र में भी कर रहे हैं। हमारे आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान का भी यही प्रयास है कि प्रमुख आर्थिक क्षेत्रों में भारत की क्षमताएं बढ़े और वे विश्व के भी काम आए।
Prime Minister Modi said COVID-19 pandemic has shown that it is risky for global supply chains to be highly dependent on any single source, and India is working together with Japan and Australia for supply chain diversification and resilience. He said other like-minded countries can also join this effort.
COVID-19 ने दिखाया है कि ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन्स का किसी भी सिंगल सोर्स पर अत्यधिक निर्भर होना कितना रिस्की होता है। हम जापान और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ मिलकर सप्लाई चेन को डाइवर्सिफाई करना और रेजिलियंस के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। अन्य लाइक माइंडेड देश भी इस प्रयत्न में जुड़ सकते हैं।
Mr. Modi said the companies that are working in India will benefit from the regulatory and taxation reforms. Mr. Modi said recently the government has brought important reforms in agriculture and labour sector.
रेगुलेटरी और टैक्सेशन रिफॉर्म से भारत में काम करने वाली कंपनीज को लाभ मिलेगा। अन्य क्षेत्रों में भी रिफॉर्म्स की प्रक्रिया निरंतर चालू है। हाल ही में कृषि और लेबर सेक्टर्स में महत्वपूर्ण रिफॉर्म्स किए गए हैं।
The Prime Minister also mentioned that Denmark has been continuously participating in the vibrant Gujarat Summit since 2009. In her opening remarks, Denmark's Prime Minister said that the summit is a milestone in their bilateral relations and their forward-looking agreement on green strategic partnership. She said COVID-19 has posed a challenge to all, which the world has to deal with unitedly. According to a joint statement for India-Denmark Green Strategic Partnership, the two Prime Ministers confirmed the close partnership in addressing global challenges and solutions on green energy transition and climate change. India and Denmark also agree to be at the forefront in the global fight against climate change. Both countries have set very ambitious national targets on climate and energy that will contribute to an ambitious implementation of the Paris Agreement. Together, the two countries will show the world that delivering on ambitious climate and sustainable energy goals is possible. The two Prime Ministers also agreed to join efforts and initiatives to support and promote a rule-based multilateral system. This includes strong multilateral cooperation to face the urgency to step up global efforts to combat global challenges on energy and climate change, and common commitment to the International Energy Agency, the International Renewable Energy Agency, and the International Solar Alliance. Both sides supported the need for cooperation on promotion of an open, inclusive and rule-based multilateral trading system under the WTO at its core to promote global growth and sustainable development.
The Defence Acquisition Council DAC has approved proposals for capital acquisition of various equipment required by the Indian Armed Forces at an approximate cost of 2,290 crore rupees. These include procurement from domestic industry as well as foreign vendors. The DAC meeting was chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today. Under the Buy Indian category, the DAC approved procurement of static HF stance receiver sets and smart anti-airfield weapon. The HF radio sets will enable seamless communication for the field units of Army and Air Force and are being procured at an approximate cost of 540 crore rupees. The smart anti-airfield weapon being procured at an approximate cost of 970 crore rupees will add to the firepower of Navy and Air Force. Further, to equip the frontline troops of the Army, the DAC also accorded approval for procurement of 6 assault rifles at a cost of approximately 780 crore rupees. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh unveiled the Defence Acquisition Procedure DAP 2020 document today. The minister said the new DAP 2020 will empower the Indian domestic industry through Make in India initiative. Mr. Singh said the DAP is in line with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat with the ultimate aim of turning India into a global manufacturing hub. The Defence Minister said the formulation of DAP 2020 has been done after incorporating comments and suggestions from a wide spectrum of stakeholders.
Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today said the Jammu and Kashmir government has agreed in principle to amend and modify rules for ease in issue of domicile certificate. The minister said formal orders will be issued soon. Dr. Singh held discussion on the issue with Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and Chief Secretary Subramaniam. He said this move will particularly facilitate issuing domicile certificate to children producing permanent resident certificate (PRC) of any of the parents and women from outside married to PRC holder men. The government has initiated a probe into alleged dumping of a pharma raw material, ceftriaxone sodium sterile, from China. Nectar Life Sciences and Sterile India have filed an application before the Commerce Ministry's investigation arm, Directorate General of Trade Remedies, DGTR. The domestic manufacturers sought a probe into the matter. The applicants have contended that material injury is being caused to the domestic industry due to the dumped imports from China. They requested imposition of anti-dumping duty on the import. Our correspondent reports the Directorate will determine the existence, degree and effect of alleged dumping in respect of the product from China. If DGTR finds that there is dumping of the product which is impacting domestic manufacturers, it will recommend the amount of anti-dumping duty. While DGTR recommends the duty, the Finance Ministry imposes it. In international trade parlance, dumping happens when a country or a firm exports an item at a price lower than the price of that product in its domestic market.
The government has given approval for the procurement of 13.77 lakh metric tons LMD of pulses and oilseeds for Kharif marketing season 2020-21 from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana and Haryana. For the other states and union territories, approval will also be accorded on receipt of proposal for Kharif pulses and oilseeds, and procurement will be made as per price support scheme if the market rates goes below its minimum support price MSP. The centre has now allowed all remaining procuring states to commence and proceed with their procurement operations for paddy or rice in Kharif marketing season KMS 2020-21 from today. However, the commencement of procurement period in respect of Kerala, which started on 21st of this month, and that of Punjab and Haryana from 26th of this month will remain unchanged. This will ensure that farmers are facilitated in selling their produce at minimum support price MSP expeditiously.
The government has implemented 3 acts with an aim to transform the agriculture sector in the country and raise farmers' income. These acts are Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020, and the Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020. Earlier, during the launch of a railway bridge on River Kosi in Bihar on 18th of this month, the Prime Minister had cautioned farmers against the misinformation being spread in this regard.
ऐसे लोगों से सावधान रहें जिन्होंने दशकों तक देश पर राज किया और जो आज किसानों से झूठ बोल रहे हैं। वो लोग किसानों की रक्षा का ढिंढोरा पीट रहे हैं, लेकिन दरअसल वे किसानों को अनेक बंधनों में जकड़कर रखना चाहते हैं। वो लोग बिचौलियों का साथ दे रहे हैं। 21वीं सदी में भारत का किसान बंधनों में नहीं, भारत का किसान खुल करके खेती करेगा, जहां मन आएगा अपनी उपज बेचेगा।
Our correspondent has more on this.
The Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020 creates an ecosystem where the farmers and traders will enjoy freedom of choice of sale and purchase of agri-produce. It will also promote barrier-free inter-state and intra-state trade and commerce outside the physical premises of markets notified under state agricultural produce marketing legislations. This is a historic step in unlocking the vastly regulated agriculture markets in the country. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020 will empower farmers for engaging with processors, wholesalers, aggregators, large retailers, exporters on a level playing field without any fear of exploitation. It will transfer the risk of market unpredictability from the farmer to the sponsor and also enable the farmer to access modern technology and better inputs. It will reduce cost of marketing and improve income of farmers. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today criticized Congress for politicizing farm bills. Addressing media, Mr. Javadekar said Congress party is misleading farmers and doing politics over the reform move. He said farmers will not fall for these tactics of Congress. He pointed out that these reforms were also promised by Congress in its poll manifesto.
कांग्रेस पूरी तरह से आज बेनकाब हुई। इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए, ये कौन सा आंदोलन है कि ट्रक से आप अच्छा खासा ट्रैक्टर लाके उतारते हो और उसको जलाते हो। ये जानबूझ के टीवी का पब्लिसिटी लेने के लिए इस तरह का काम किया, यही कांग्रेस का आंदोलन है। और इसी तरह से वो किसानों को गुमराह करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, लेकिन किसान गुमराह होने वाला नहीं है।
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has vowed to travel around the state to convince farmers about the benefits of amending APMC and land reforms laws. Speaking to the media persons in Bengaluru today, he requested farmer leaders to discuss with the government about the concerns that they have about the amendments. He assured them that in just 6 months they will know the positive benefits of the amendments. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds virtual bilateral summit with his Denmark counterpart Mette Frederiksen, says collaboration among like-minded countries in vaccine development will help in fighting COVID pandemic. Defence Acquisition Council approves proposals for capital acquisition of equipment worth 2,290 crore rupees. Government initiates probe into alleged dumping of pharma raw material from China. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 82.58%. and in IPL cricket match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians underway in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 p.m. in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio.
The COVID-19 recovery rate in the country has reached 82.58%. The total number of recoveries from COVID-19 in India today crossed the landmark milestone of 50 lakh. The Health Ministry said over 50 lakh, 16,000 people have been cured so far. The Ministry said 10 lakh recoveries were added in just 11 days. It said India is continuously witnessing a very high level of more than 90,000 recoveries every day recently. Recovered cases have outpaced active cases by more than 5 times. During the last 24 hours, more than 74,000 people have recovered. India's COVID-19 tally has crossed 60 lakh with 82,170 new infections being reported in a day. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan launched the ICMR's Vaccine Web Portal and National Clinical Registry for COVID-19 today. This Vaccine Web Portal will provide information related to COVID-19 vaccine development in India and abroad. In addition, National COVID-19 Clinical Registry will collect data regarding clinical and laboratory investigations, treatments, management protocols, and outcomes of hospitalized COVID patients in India.
In Gujarat, the President of Ahmedabad Hospitals and Nursing Homes Association, AHNA, Dr. Bharat Gadhvi, has said that 90% of COVID-19 beds are occupied in cities' private hospitals. He said that most of the ventilators are also occupied. AHNA regularly updates the data of availability and occupancy of COVID beds in private hospitals in Ahmedabad on its website. Our Ahmedabad correspondent reports that this situation is due to an increasing number of active cases in the city.
According to the Ahmedabad Hospital and Nursing Homes Association, the active cases in the city have increased significantly in comparison to 3 months back. Ahmedabad Medical Association has also urged the state government to ensure the beds in the city hospitals for local patients. According to AMA, a large number of patients from other cities and neighboring states are occupying the COVID beds in the city hospitals. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has imposed complete close down in many posh and busy areas of the city after 10 p.m. This was decided after the large-scale violations of compulsory mask and social distancing norms. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has said that the state government has framed Standard Operating Procedure SOP for reopening of restaurants and a decision will be taken once the guidelines are finalized. The Chief Minister was speaking at a meeting with the representatives of associations of restaurants from Mumbai, Pune, Aurangabad and Nagpur through video conferencing. Here's the report.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has made it clear that the SOP are not for putting restaurant owners in trouble, and it will be important to take care of the health of chefs and other staffers in restaurants as well as for visiting customers. He emphasized on wearing masks, cleaning hands and maintaining physical distance while living with COVID-19 and added that these precautions need to be taken when restaurants are reopened. He urged all the stakeholders to sit together and finalize the SOP. Additional Chief Secretary Sitaram Kunte said the SOP will be finalized after holding another round of meeting with the representatives of restaurants. With Shailesh Patil, this is Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Kerala continues to report spike in COVID cases as it confirms 4,538 new cases today. A report.
Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that the COVID spread in the state is getting worse. An all-party meeting will be convened tomorrow evening to take stock of the situation. On account of the serious COVID situation in Kerala, the opposition UDF had called off their ongoing protest involving people. Meanwhile, 20 more deaths were confirmed today due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 697. 3,347 recoveries were also reported today. The total active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 57,879. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Puducherry, schools will be opened for higher classes in a phased manner from 5th of October onwards. The decision was taken at a meeting chaired by Chief Minister Narayanasamy. Our correspondent has the details.
According to an official release, in the first phase, in Puducherry and Karaikal regions, doubt clarification sessions for classes 10th and 12th will start from 5th October and for classes 9th and 11th on 12th October. Written consent of parents is mandatory for coming to schools. Arrangements will be made to record the temperature of the students who come for doubt clarification. If anyone is found to have symptoms, they will be referred to a nearby primary health center. The schools in containment zones will not be reopened until they turn into green zone. Proper sanitation and social distancing measures shall be ensured. The Directorate of School Education will examine and submit a report on the feasibility of providing transport facility and midday meals in a phased manner. Chandramohan, AR News, Puducherry.
West Bengal government today released detailed guidelines for Durga Puja celebration in view of COVID-19 pandemic, which is going to be held in less than a month. More details from our Kolkata correspondent.
The detailed guidelines mentions social distancing, mandatory use of face masks and hand sanitizers at all times of visiting pandals, no cultural program, low-key inauguration and immersions, among others. It says no to Carnival too, which is the much-awaited extravaganza to showcase major pandals at one place. Earlier, government announced one-time financial assistance of Rs 50,000 per club for enabling them to undertake the required arrangements to address the pandemic situation. This is Dr. Priyanka for All India Radio News, Kolkata.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Neurologist in Lady Hardinge Medical College, Dr. Rajinder K. Dhamija will take part in the discussion. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by #AskAIR.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate 6 mega projects in Uttarakhand under the Namami Gange mission tomorrow through video conference. The projects include construction of a 68 million litres per day MLD sewage treatment plant, upgradation of the existing 27 MLD at Jagjeetpur, and construction of an 18 MLD sewage treatment plant at Sarai in Haridwar. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate Ganga Avlokan, the first museum on Ganga dedicated to showcase the culture, biodiversity and rejuvenation activities done on the river. The museum is located at Chandighat in Haridwar. The Uttar Pradesh government has bagged 8 awards in Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan launched by the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation under the Union Ministry of Jal Shakti. The state overall stood on the second position in the implementation of Gandagi Mukt Bharat scheme. The awards will be distributed at a virtual ceremony on 2nd of October this year. A report.
Chief Minister of State Yogi Adityanath today said in a function in Unnao that his government created the highest number of jobs in the country during the corona pandemic period. He said that his government not only brought back lakhs of migrant workers to their homes but also provided them employment near their villages. The Government of India had launched the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan initiative to tackle the impact of COVID-19 on laborers and workers. Uttar Pradesh has got overall first position in the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan category, while in individual districts Prayagraj, Hardoi and Fatehpur has bagged first, second and third ranks respectively. In non-GKRA category, Bareilly and Aligarh have secured first and second ranks respectively. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik today launched a slum upgradation program to make the state slum-free in 3 years. The program is aimed at improving the living conditions of the slum dwellers by providing them with basic necessities like piped water, electricity, paved roads and recreational space.
Birthday wishes poured in from various quarters of the society for legendary playback singer and recipient of Bharat Ratna, Lata Mangeshkar, who turned 91 years old today. Considered an all-time great, the lady with the velvet voice, Lata Mangeshkar ruled Hindi film female playback singing for more than 7 decades and is a recipient of numerous awards and honours. She's also received acclaim for her songs in various other Indian languages. Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveyed birthday greetings to her. In his message, the Prime Minister wished her long and healthy life. On her birthday, the Maharashtra government today announced the Gan Samragini Lata Mangeshkar Award for the year 2020-21 to veteran female playback singer Usha Mangeshkar. Nation paid homage to the revolutionary freedom fighter Bhagat Singh on his 113th birth anniversary today. It was on this day in 1907, Bhagat Singh was born in Banga village of Lyalpur district of undivided Punjab province. He fought against British rule for the country's independence and was hanged in Lahore jail at the age of 23 along with Rajguru and Sukhdev. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to Bhagat Singh and highlighted his contributions to India's freedom struggle.
China's Yunnan province gets a confirmed case of bubonic plague after Inner Mongolia recorded 2 deaths due to deadly disease. In southwest China's Yunnan province, local Center for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed a previously suspected case of bubonic plague in a 3-year-old child. No new cases have been reported. Local disease control authorities initially concluded on September 21 that a rat plague occurred in Menghai County. The local authority has reminded residents to quickly report if they had any contact with the dead rats and seek medical advice if they show fever-like symptoms. More from our Prasar Bharati special correspondent in Beijing.
The case was discovered during a county-wide screening for the disease after 3 rats were found dead for unknown reasons in a village in Menghai County. A level 4 emergency response has been launched to prevent the spread of the disease. In July, China confirmed a case of bubonic plague in the northern province of Inner Mongolia, which led to 2 deaths in August and sparked public concern. Infected rats are a key source of the disease, which also transmits to humans, typically through bites from infected fleas. Anshuman Mishra, All India Radio, Beijing.
In IPL cricket, the match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians is underway in Dubai. Royal Challengers Bangalore were 154 for 2 in 17 overs against Mumbai when reports last came in. Earlier, Mumbai Indians won the toss and elected to bowl. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. In Mumbai, rain or thunder showers would occur towards afternoon or evening. Chennai will experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be 35 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 8 and 27 degrees Celsius. In Ladakh, there will be mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 4 degrees Celsius and the maximum 22 degrees. Gilgit will experience partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The temperature will hover between 13 and 26 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature will be 15 and the maximum will be 33 degrees Celsius. In business news, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange surged 593 points to close at 37,982. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also rose 177 points to settle at 11,228. And now, before we close the bulletin, here are headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds virtual bilateral summit with his Denmark counterpart, Mette Frederiksen, says collaboration among like-minded countries in vaccine development will help in fighting COVID pandemic. Defence Acquisition Council approves proposals for capital acquisition of equipment worth 2,290 crore rupees. Government initiates probe into alleged dumping of pharma raw material from China. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 82.58%. And in IPL cricket, match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Mumbai Indians underway in Dubai. And as we wind up the bulletin, we bring you Bapu's favorite bhajan, Vaishnava Janato, sung by an artist from Thailand. And with that, we end the evening news. From all of us here, good night.